Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/SIBSB. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Until I met my new best friend, all of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my voicemail.
Alex, are we rolling? We're rolling. Welcome.
Thank God we didn't lose that goal.
Oh, no.
Because when are we going to hit it again like that?
No, yeah, that's
We're going
one
to
in a
squeeze
million.
it back into the podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is the podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they're busy with. Sometimes we talk to not very busy people about what they pretend to be busy with all day. That is not the case today. We have a very busy man. We're very excited to have him here. Andrew Goldstein is here.
At Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD.
I'm Matt Goldich, at Matt Goldich on Twitter. And please, everybody, welcome our guest. We're just jumping right into it. He is the star of Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix and the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Another Jew.
Many other. Yes, the third Jew in the room. Phil Rosenthal is here.
Hello!
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
I got it.
It's me.
This
Yes.
is such a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me.
You
This
don't
is
have
so cool.
any
You came
idea
all the way to
how
the
long
Showbiz Studios.
we've been fans.
Which one of you went to see Springsteen on Broadway? I was just
That was
listening.
me. Yes.
What'd you think?
It was amazing. I mean,
Have you talked about it on the show yet?
I think so. Did I?
Just in our intro, I think.
I took my dad, which was great, and
Yeah.
I didn't even realize he had never seen Springsteen before.
Oh,
so it was
did he die?
amazing. He loved it, and
Yeah.
to me, the amazing thing. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The amazing thing is how funny he is.
Yes.
I was shocked. At,
It's a great play, isn't
yeah,
it?
and he's so great at delivering
Yes.
the jokes, and he's
Dry,
great. Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, I mean,
Witty.
it helps that he's Bruce Springsteen, but he doesn't have to be funny, and he is, which is upsetting in some ways.
Not
as
enough
somebody-
Clarence Clemens for me.
Yeah, well, that's a
The
shame.
late great.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Great.
he
Look
talks
what he
about
did.
Clarence's
I
relationship.
love
with-
Clarence.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
Guarantee you'll
He's
cry
my favorite
at that
part of
part.
it. Yeah. And his son plays in the band, Clarence's son.
Yeah.
That's his nephew.
Nephew.
Is it his Max? I thought it was his son. Max was there the night that I saw it in the balcony. Yeah.
So cool.
Like I said, we're both huge fans. I remember once being in Osteria Mozza in L.A. when I lived there several years ago, and I saw you in there, and you were talking to Ryan Seacrest, and everybody else in my party was I was there with my wife and my in-laws, and they were more starstruck by Ryan Seacrest, and I was the one who was more starstruck by you because I was like,
you're a
that's
Jew.
Phil Rosenthal. He's talking
Yes.
about some guy. There
By
you-
the way, also,
Yeah.
because I remember that dinner, it's not like I always go out with Ryan.
right? Yeah.
Also at that was Patton Oswalt. Did you notice him?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Where was he?
He's one of my favorites.
I did. He's great, but I didn't recognize that.
At the end of the meal, did Seacrest go, Seacrest out?
yeah, Seacrest out of yeah.
Drop his.
Did
he had a hard out.
Yeah, there you
had a
go.
hard
That are you an investor in
I am.
Mozza? Yeah,
I invest in restaurants.
Yeah,
you know
what a
why?
great- Sure,
Not
yeah.
very bright.
Yeah, 80% failure. Is that what they say, or something
That's
like that?
what they say. I have a better success rate.
Yes,
Maybe because I don't do it for the money. I love it. To me, it's like supporting the arts. That's why I
Right.
do it. We
Besides
support
the-
the arts anyway, and this is one of the ones that I value too.
the 80% failure rate for network sitcoms that's not supporting the arts. That's your lifeblood. You know.
I guess.
I feel like you're,
I've had an 80% failure rate in
That's
sitcoms.
well, yeah.
I
most
feel like
people
you're
have.
doubly investing in restaurants because of all the money you're spending just going to restaurants
eating.
and eating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say you
But I
eat
get
out
something
every
out.
night?
Pretty much.
So cool. When I was a kid, going out to dinner, that
Yeah.
phrase,
Yeah.
nothing got me more excited.
Me too. Because my mother was a terrible cook.
Right, and you
And so just to go to McDonald's was like the greatest trip we
Yeah.
could take. That was fantastic. I begged to go.
Right.
But she makes the great matzo ball soup. We learn in the show that in the New York episode.
That's true. She's kind of ruined my shtick. But
Daniel
yeah, she
Ballud walked.
does-
I mean, I don't
yeah.
want to spoil it for anybody, but
Then
Daniel,
don't, man.
an
Daniel-
unnamed.
Then don't do it.
Okay, sorry.
unnamed. No, I will spoil it for people. But
Why are you doing
okay,
that?
I won't do it. I won't.
Okay, we'll cut that.
Let me
out.
tell you
Yeah,
the
yeah.
punchline to your best
Yes.
story.
It was.
Okay.
It was
No, it
wonderful.
was kind of he was a surprise guest.
Guy
and,
Fieri walking
and
into
one of
your
the-
parents' kitchen.
And one of the things that made it very funny was she only had sort of a vague notion of who
Right.
he was. She was
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that.
We're not
Okay,
gonna talk
fine.
about it.
Because I like
isn't-
surprises.
Sure. Yeah,
That was the one. I don't do much writing on the show,
Right.
But this was something I obviously had to plan.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it would go.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Thanks.
So you had a show. It was originally called "I'll Have What Phil's Having," and I remember watching that on PBS.
Wow,
And
you're
then-
like a long-time
I'm a big
listener.
Phil Rosenthal fan.
First-time
caller.
Yeah, very nice.
I consider
We're very much like Mike and the Mad Dog.
Yes, there you go.
Julia.
And and then when it went to Netflix, it became Somebody Feed Phil. So this is this the third season, or it's the second season of Somebody Feed
Yes.
Phil? Right.
Third season of me doing this.
But did you film, because they came out pretty fast.
Right. We filmed the two, what you would call seasons together, and then they split them into season 1 and season 2, or they're calling it first course, second course.
Yeah.
Clever.
There you go.
They've got a whole team over there that thinks of this.
Um,
I do love them. I mean, it
I'm
is. Have you
sure.
ever worked for them?
For Netflix?
Yeah,
No,
because
but-
you hand them 6 episodes of a thing, they push a button, and you're on in every country on earth.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is absolutely amazing.
Like Willy Wonka.
It kind of is. I took a vacation with my wife just now, and we're going to different cities in Europe, and people have seen you.
Yeah.
It's really. I recommend it.
So I love that you're after traveling to 12 cities, you're like, it's time to take a vacation and travel again with
Yes.
more cities. That's
I would be,
You'd be doing the same.
exactly what I do on the show anyway.
Yeah.
Right. That's the genius. That's really
Mark
the
Twain
genius.
said, "Make your vocation your vacation."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You've heard that before?
Yes.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
And so it took about 10 years to get this, but I got it.
Right. When you were like working as a writer and a creator of television, did you always have the aspiration to be on camera, or is it something that just
No.
happened organically?
Organically.
Yeah.
I did study theater in school. I went to Hofstra University. And by the way, when you're a kid, you don't even know there's writing, directing, producing. I watched The Honeymooners, and I was like, I want to be that.
Yeah.
I just want to be funny on stage. And I had no aspiration to be a stand-up, but I don't know. If Saturday Night Live had been on, that would have been the perfect gig, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't have the stomach for auditioning in the real world. I was a very big star in high school and college, and then you know what happens. You move into New York, and people don't seem to care as much about
Right.
that career. And so I couldn't stomach it. Some friends of mine who were also in the same leaky boat wrote a show for ourselves to be in. That became popular. That became a show called Tony and Tina's Wedding. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
heard
sure.
of
I
it.
remember I
Okay.
saw it with my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I used to go on these bus trips with my mom and grandma. They
Yeah.
used to bring me and my brothers, and we saw Tony and Tina's wedding. It was a wedding that took place in the theater.
the gimmick
On
was
stage.
that the audience are the guests at the wedding,
Yeah.
and the actors are the wedding party. And I was the priest, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, and in the original off-Broadway production of
That's
Tony
The
Tina's
first
Wedding.
wedding.
That shows to me that you have range. That's good.
That is the definition of.
That
I
is the
actually
definition
wore
of
a
range.
blonde wig. I pretended I was from Denver
Yeah.
and had a big smile, and I
Yeah.
was very, tried to be as beatific as I could be and welcoming and loving. Because I thought it'd be a good contrast to this fighting Italian family.
Yeah.
So that was that. Anyway, long story short, my friend Alan Kirschbaum also came to my apartment with a word processor and said, let's write a screenplay. And we did, and we sold that thing, that very first thing
Wow.
that we wrote to HBO for a fortune, $70,000 in 1988.
Wow.
Right? He and I split that.
Yeah.
And I went from eating tuna fish for dinner as an actor to eating whatever I wanted as a writer. And the decision was made.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going into writing.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Especially
then-
since you love food so much.
Yes,
Couldn't-
and I forgot about acting.
Yeah.
Flash forward, you're writing on Coach,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
loved.
Did you like that
I
show?
loved Coach. Dauber used to crack me. Dauber was one of my favorite sitcom characters.
Maybe you're like a secret Gentile.
I used to love Dauber.
There you go.
That was we called it America's Old Sock, that show. Just really comfortable, nice.
Very
Right.
comfortable. ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it took you how many years then to get back into being on camera?
Well, I did this documentary about
Right.
taking Raymond to Russia
Seen it.
and turning it into Everybody Loves Kostya. And I brought a documentary film crew with me to film the process. And I guess I was on camera in that because I was part of the process. I was the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
You know, going over there thinking I'm an expert in something and going to a land where nobody cares.
Yeah.
And people responded to that. And I think it was American Express said, we like the idea of you going places. I said, so does my wife.
Yeah.
And they said, where do you want to go somewhere and do...
And the Skyping with your parents sort of became the scene stealer.
From that movie, yes. And so I'm no dummy. When I got the opportunity for this, I thought, well, you know, the Skype or the FaceTime home is the modern day equivalent of the postcard.
Right.
So there's a reason to do it. And they're funny.
Yeah.
And
they really
it's
are.
relatable. And it kind of throws back to my sitcom past. It becomes like a sitcom situation, not just in my character being in situations I might not be exactly comfortable in or trying new things, but in this recurring character thing.
Yeah, and just the banter between child and parent.
Always.
With you and your parents harken back to Raymond, and you can see the seeds.
It comes from somewhere. Everything comes from somewhere.
I mean, that is interesting because Jewish and Italian...
not so different.
Not so different. I guess
By the way, Sri Lankan, Korean,
that's true. Yeah.
Everywhere I go,
they
say, you know, we get these letters, that's my mother. And I'm like, that's impossible because I don't know your mother in Sri Lanka. I was writing my mother.
Exactly. Everywhere except Denver.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
We used to get letters from Americans at Raymond. They all began, Dear Jew.
That any television show was
yes.
But and then like when did your love of food start? Like when did
the moment I left my parents' house?
Right.
I never had like things like garlic. That's a flavor I never had.
Wow.
I never had food with really any flavor. Our joke
Which is so interesting because like Jewish, I mean like any of my friends growing up, like food was such a big part of growing up Jewish.
It's quantity. It's quantity over quality, though. A lot. Yeah, it's more.
But it's like I was this kid like eating chopped liver and like at my grandmom's house and like to hear
tasted
you
good.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And to hear you be like my childhood like there was no flavor until I
and God forbid we visited our ultra orthodox cousins who were glot kosher glot with like 3 T's.
Yeah.
Punishment.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I have memories of like good food, bagels and things. It just
all that stuff was great.
Yeah.
Whenever, and it was not often, but the special occasion.
Sure.
You went out for this stuff or had it brought in or it was a gift.
Yeah.
It truly was a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my mom had a setting on the oven for choux.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, they didn't have a lot of money,
Right.
and she worked, and Dad worked, and so they didn't have time. It just wasn't a priority.
Yeah.
Right. I always say I can't blame them for not being great parents. It wasn't their field.
Yeah. There you
Well,
go.
it's so funny. I've read your book also, and food is like a main character. And this is before you were Phil Rosenthal, the food guy.
Absolutely.
You wrote the book about your TV career, but food is a main character.
I was in the airport, and a guy, I'm putting my bag up for security, and the guy behind me goes, "Hey, you're the food guy." Yeah. And I'm like, "Gee, I always wanted to be called that." And he goes, "Hey, listen, I'm just the guy."
Yeah, there you go.
So
Better
I'll take
to be
it.
The food guy, sure.
Of course. Do you want to call me that? I don't care. Call me Shirley. I don't care. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's just nice. I have the perfect level of fame right now. Like I'm a normal person. I go through. Nobody bothers me. Once a day.
Right.
Twice a day, if I'm lucky, somebody says they like what I do.
And what's so interesting to me is like you easily could have just been the sitcom guy for the rest of your life.
Sure.
And here you are. You've completely reinvented for a whole new chunk of people. Now you're the food guy.
Well, I kept failing at the other thing, so I had to do something.
But also imagine it's funny to think about, people like us who are writers or work in the business, we know you as creative, Everybody Loves Raymond, but then like for somebody who, because you're on camera, it's sort of like they're you watching The Honeymooners and they think you're just the whole show. You know what I mean? Like
they don't know the past.
They don't realize that there's writers and directors and other people working on the show. They just see it's your show. So there you go. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But kids, listen, I took 10 years, and it's not like, I had some success with Everybody Loves Raymond, and I could literally do whatever I wanted. No.
Yeah.
They didn't even want the business had changed so drastically while I was in that bubble of doing that show for 9 years. By the time I got out there, they didn't even want the spin-off from Raymond.
Wow.
They didn't want this type of entertainment.
Yeah.
They wanted by the way, even when we were starting Raymond, it was hard to get on with that type of show. The notes we were getting were, can you make it a little hotter and sexier, hipper and edgier? I'm like, well, you got the right guy. I'm Mr. Hip and Edgy.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. So you went hard. So you went in the other direction. I mean, you got to stand out. It stood out. I mean, it was like, that show is timeless.
Well, that's the good thing about it. I can honestly say that was the goal.
Yeah.
We purposely left out any topical jokes so that we wouldn't date the show.
Yeah.
That might be why we're still on, because we tackled the timeless issues
Built for syndication.
I swear to you, I said this out loud. Yes, it's for CBS, but in the back of my mind, it's for Nick at Night.
The long
TV
play.
Land.
Yeah.
The long play.
There you go.
But why not? Well, listen, how often do you get a chance to have a TV show?
For sure.
And I it was an absolute crazy dream to get it. And so when I got it, I thought, how do I make it have lasting value?
Yeah.
Well, first, how
Very
about
smart.
let's not be terrible? That'll be the one way.
Sure, that's
and then
a
the
good
other
idea.
way is maybe...
Let's not be making G.W. Bush jokes every episode.
exactly.
Yeah, it's very
Exactly.
smart.
So when did you start investing in restaurants or becoming interested in food on that level, on that?
Right. So even as a starving actor in New York in the 80s, I would save up once a year on my birthday, and I had another idiot friend who did the same thing. I'm talking about saving up $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go to Lutèce or Le Grand Oui or Le Bourdain or, these magical places I was reading about in the New York Times called 4-star restaurants.
Right.
And so this was like a vacation.
Right.
Food and travel, right? A great restaurant transports you to another world,
Yeah.
a better one.
Yeah.
So this was worth it for me to do, and I always loved it. So now I have my own TV show, Raymond, and I have a little money, and my wife comes home and says, I met Suzanne in the parking lot. She's a school mom, and she's a chef, and she wondered if you'd be interested in investing in a restaurant. I said, hell yeah. Can I try the food? I tried the food. It was awesome. That restaurant is called Jar. It's in L.A., Yeah,
I love Jar.
My first investment, right?
Yeah.
And then a year later, they were going to sell Jar like it was going to go out of business because the landlord wanted to sell. I'm like, asked my business manager, this is terrible. Isn't there something we can do? And they said, yeah, you could buy it. So I did. I bought the restaurant. It was my restaurant for about a year and a half. Until I couldn't take the kind of day-to-day operation because I was busy doing Raymond. I didn't have time. This was just my hobby.
It must have been very jarring.
Yeah, I had no idea
Wow,
about
up
this.
top.
There you go. Yes. Jar, you literally, that's so funny. Jar is the restaurant that my wife and I would go to when we lived in LA for a few years. Anytime something amazingly good or amazingly bad would happen, we would go to Jar to either celebrate or commiserate.
Because it's the comfort food restaurant, right?
Exactly,
It's the classic, what they call a classic chop house.
Yes.
You get
Great
the classics.
steak.
Great steak, the pot roast.
Oh, the pot roast, yes. And is there some kind of dessert that involves butterscotch, or am I making that up? Maybe it was a special.
The butterscotch budino, which is like a pudding.
I am such a budino guy.
Yes.
Come on, budino.
Yeah.
They have it at Mozza now, too. I think Nancy was influential there as well.
And I, unfortunately, very sadly, I'm gluten free.
Yeah.
So any pudding dessert is right up my alley. That's not instead of a cake, So a gelato or a budino is really.
So here's something that people don't know about the restaurant scene in LA is that every Monday at Jar, Nancy Silverton would come and kind of pull mozzarella behind the bar, fresh mozzarella, and make these dishes at the bar. It was called Mozzarella Mondays, and it was at Jar.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, you know why she's doing this? Her and Mario Batali are thinking of opening a restaurant in Los Angeles. And I held her leg until she let me invest in that restaurant because I knew that was going to be a grand slam. How could it fail?
Yeah, of course.
Mozza, you go in there now and people are like waiting in 6 deep at the mozzarella.
It's kind of like the feeling is kind of like having a hit show when you have a restaurant like this that's working. To me, it's thrilling. So I couldn't take the headache of owning a restaurant, and so I sold it to the chef, to Suzanne. And she was happy to buy it because now it was very successful. I'm talking about 17 years ago.
Wow.
But I took that money and thought, I'm going to have all the fun of ownership with none of the headaches by just investing. And maybe I can help seed the ground here in LA for restaurants. I'm not alone, but this to me is like a passion project, supporting the arts. And I'm in like 20, 25 places. I can't even tell you how many places.
Yeah. And that's, and then at what point did like the heavy travel start to, in terms of food-based travel start for you? Was that your whole life, or was that really like, did that ramp up?
The moment I could travel, we never went as a family.
Yeah.
I mean, never. Certainly never overseas. We had one trip to Miami once because my uncle had a free week at the condo.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I begged him in 1972 to stop at this new thing that opened in Orlando called Disney World.
Yeah.
It wasn't even half...
Flash in a pan.
Yes, it wasn't even half the Magic Kingdom of Disneyland at the time,
like
if you
one
can imagine.
Yeah.
It was sad, in fact, comparatively, but not to me. My mother said, as we were waiting online for a ride, do you like this? I said, this is the greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
I remember saying that, and she went, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But I meant it. And here's the thing about Disney. We don't even realize it. It does instill a desire to travel in a kid.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're going to different lands.
Especially
I've never been to it.
Right?
I've never been to any Disney property.
What? That's crazy. Wow.
It's a fun fact.
I guess that's a good...
And my
Have you been to
wife's family loves it.
Have you been to the real places, though?
Like
Europe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So that's
it's a little
more
better,
important.
I'm here to tell
A
you.
little better, yeah.
You know, I don't know if you saw our Bangkok episode, right? It starts with a floating market. I'm in a floating market. So you're in a boat, and it's a little tiny motor on the back, and you're sitting on literally a 1 foot bench, right? That for room enough for a skinny butt like mine. And you go up this little river, and you pull over to the right, and there's a lady in a boat, and she's making up pad thai noodles in her boat.
In her boat.
And you buy, the boat pulls up, driving, and you get the pad thai noodles. And it's not just good for being on a boat somewhere.
Like
These are the best pad thai noodles I ever had in my friggin' life. And you eat them, and you're like, oh my God. And then you go to the left of the river, and there's a lady with meat on a skewer, and that's phenomenal. Everyone's an expert on this river, and it's just this journey up there. I'm like, Disney's got nothing on this ride.
Right.
They don't feed you on the It's a Small World ride.
Yeah.
This is like, if you like that idea of the boat ride,
Go to the real place.
go to the source.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I feel like we're close to getting the Phil Rosenthal fist pump from somebody.
Oh,
named
man.
Phil. It's
The,
like my favorite part of every episode is how excited you get.
The manly arm.
You have this fist pump
Well, I
that
can't help it.
rivals people in a dance club.
No, yeah.
without the talent for
But
dancing.
that's how I mean, you've
Right,
seen me.
sure.
That's how I am. I get that
There's-
that level of excited over fun food.
When you
I love it.
When you love something, there's like a face. And then when you really love something, there's like a dance. It's like you could like that's
It's spontaneous. I promise.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know.
planning to do
No,
this.
it's the best.
I don't.
It's involuntary.
You know what's weird?
It's like a dad at a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get videos. People send me videos of their 2-year-old children imitating me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
That's wonderful.
And very sweet.
Well,
Yeah.
No, what were you going to say? No.
No, please.
I was
after
just
you.
going to say I have a bunch of like my food type questions.
Yeah,
but
do it.
I don't know if you
Why
want to
wait?
ask anymore.
Go, give me one. Go.
Well, I was going to be my end question, but death row meal.
Wow.
It's my.
It's so hard.
It's like one of those you could debate at the bar for years. But
There are things-
I actually just read an article about death row meals.
And what did it say?
It was like it broke them down. Like you get a budget, which I never knew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The inmate gets a budget, and
What's
they can
the
get
budget?
outside food.
Well, of course, outside food.
Yeah, you can get the-
No, for my last meal, I'd like to be the
I'll
prison
tell-
slop I've
Yeah,
eaten for
yeah.
30
I'll tell you
years.
mine,
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
you see if you can
Yeah.
conjure up one. Mine would be
First, I want to know the budget. Or is it
I'd have to
limitless?
look it up, but I don't think it's limitless.
I mean,
in
for
our
me.
in our fantasy.
I
In our
would do-
fantasy.
Yeah.
corned beef or pastrami with chopped liver, unseeded rye, a little bit of mustard,
Very specific.
like hardcore. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite sandwich. It's so bad for you. I try to eat it once a year. But
Right.
that would be my death row.
Right. Have you had the pastrami sandwich at
Langer's. He took me to
Langers
Langer's.
is the best.
When
I think it's better than anything in New York.
Well,
That's what he says.
Nora Ephron in the New Yorker magazine said
Yeah.
the best pastrami sandwich in America is at Langer's. And
Yes.
she is
The number
100%
19.
right. Number 19, people.
There you
You
go.
got to get it.
he
It's
took me to
because
Langer's the first time I visited
Yeah.
him in L.A.
The pastrami is, I think Katz's has equal to pastrami, but the bread at
Yeah.
Langer's.
And you talk about it in the episode, how it's like almost undercooked.
It's half baked,
It's
twice baked, right?
Yeah.
Half baked and then finished right before you're eating the sandwich. So it has this almost like glass-like crunch, and then delicately soft inside. You would eat that bread by itself and be perfectly happy. Not enough people value the bread, and the bread is half the sandwich.
Yeah.
Here's a question: as somebody who's been, we never got to his death row meal.
It's okay.
No, if you, we could. But
There's so many things.
It's hard.
I will say this: it won't be fancy. It
Yeah.
will be like my favorite fried chicken, or my favorite hot dog, or my favorite burger, or my favorite pizza. In fact, chicken, hot dog, pizza, burger, that will be on the plate.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that all right?
It's like a Seder plate of fun, fun
shit.
things. Yeah.
Of not good for you food. But listen, I'm dying, so may as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm eating
That's
the heart
why you're
attack
eating
sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah. I've always wondered, like, am I going to get the gluten-free meal
At
as my
that
last
point-
meal, or
at that point you
do
go
I
all
just?
gluten.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to die with a stomachache, though. That's weird.
That's really
But,
funny.
I
Or
don't wanna
die
be in
from
pain
a
when I
I know,
stomachache.
right?
I don't wanna be in pain
I guess
when
if
I
I
die.
die from something else before they kill
Death
me,
by
that's
bunga
not
bunga.
bad, yeah.
You know that.
So, like, as someone who's traveled all over the world, but then also spent like most of your time like in Los Angeles and New York. I mean, like, those are two cities where you can really kind of get anything authentic. Like, do you feel like it's better when you go overseas, or are you like if you're in Thailand, are you like, oh, I could get Thai food this amazing in Queens, or like if you're in Mexico, could you feel like, oh, LA, the Mexican food is? Or
I'm so glad you're asking me this. I'm so glad, right? I truly believe that it's better at the source.
Yes.
I truly believe that the best glass of beer I ever had was at the top of the Guinness Storehouse in Dublin.
Yeah.
There's something about that tap is mainlining into the central keg of maybe the world, right? And you're getting this cold, fresh. I mean, it's like you taste the freshness of it. That's the only way I can explain it. And by the way, the location adds to it. It can't not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Our mind and tongue are connected. So you're looking out over beautiful Dublin and Ireland beyond it, and you're drinking a pint of Guinness, and you're just feeling Irish all of a sudden, no matter where you're from. It just is an experience. And I tell people, oh, you like Chinese food? You know where they have really, really good Chinese food?
exactly.
Yes. You know where
Queens?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know where the pizza's really, really good, right?
Oh,
if you like Italian
the
food.
best slice of pizza my wife and I had in Italy was at the airport. We had an amazing slice of pizza at the airport.
Really?
We
I
had
guess
great
so.
pizza all over.
By
but
the way, you can have the meal of your life at a gas station in
in
Italy.
Hawaii, they had a bowl of poke at the gas station.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, like in Italy, you pull off the highway, and there's roasted porchetta behind the counter, going like the way we have hot dogs on the rollers.
Right. The 7-Eleven hot dog.
Yeah,
with porchetta.
they have a porchetta.
So cool.
For some reason, when I watch your show, or a show I like that, I'm always drawn immediately to the New York or the LA episode, because it's, as much as it's like aspirational to be like, oh, it'd be great to travel to Italy. It's like, I love seeing that dosa place in Queens and being like, oh, we could go there tomorrow. Like, that's the easiest thing in
That's
the
the
world.
fun
You
of
know, where it's
watching
just
the
like,
York
I love
LA
that you said that,
Yeah.
because the point of having one American city per 6
Yeah.
episodes is that I know not everyone can afford to travel
Yeah.
overseas,
Yeah, it's smart.
and it's hard. You can travel in your own country. You can travel in your own town.
Yeah.
The fact that you see that show and say, there's an Indian place in Queens that we could go to tomorrow.
I love dosa. I can't believe I've never been there.
That's like, you're the first step out of the comfort zone, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just go to the ethnic restaurant in your town,
In Queens,
and now you've traveled.
Yeah.
And that will instill a desire to travel in you.
Yeah.
Years ago, Matt and I pitched a really bad food concept show
Yes.
called Food Fears, about two picky eaters, me
Yes.
and him,
Yes.
meeting fun chefs who try to cook things that we hate in ways that would be more appetizing to us.
Good idea.
So what are your food hang-ups? Because me,
Yeah.
peas, I can't really even be around
Peas?
them. I have like
That's your thing.
I have like a weird. I can't. I can't
So
get
what
past
about
it.
split pea soup? No way?
No.
So what about fresh garden peas, like beautiful sweet?
With bacon and
No way.
Goes-
No?
it's
There's
like
not a
It's
scenario
like a
you
visual and like child. I don't know. Nothing like dramatic happened. I've just never. I don't know.
But see, if you had canned peas, right?
Yeah.
It's like Brussels sprouts underwent from our
But I'll eat
childhood to
those.
now,
Yeah.
underwent some transformation
They
from being
became
boiled,
cool.
horrible, bitter,
Yeah.
like mini cabbages, to being roasted with balsamic vinegar and to becoming this crispy, beautiful, incredible
Nick
vegetable.
Kroll has the great bit about Brussels sprouts.
Oh, what does he say?
Somebody was just like, cut them in half. That was the key.
That was it?
Yeah, it was just like, Nick Kroll.
But also nobody had fried them before. Nobody had roasted them before. Yeah. It was just boiled.
And brown sugar and cinnamon and all kinds of crazy
nice stuff, right?
So do you have any hang-ups? Because you seem to be like one of those guys who I'm super jealous of, who eats anything and has no maybe a little none of that, please put that on the side. You just dive in.
I will dive in, but I'm not like Andrew Zimmern, someone who's looking for the
and I don't mean bugs and stuff,
but I have done it. I have eaten a bug or two.
Normal everyday. Like my wife eats everything. She doesn't like olives.
Okay, I don't like black licorice.
There you go.
There you go. You wouldn't eat it in any circumstance.
You know what's funny? I went to a restaurant. I think it was in Chicago. I think it might have been Alinea, even this world famous, top in the world restaurant. And before the thing, they say, "Do you have any allergies or any foods you don't like?" And I said, "I eat everything." And they said, "Are you sure?" And as a joke, I said, "Well, I don't really like black licorice. That's about it." And she goes away and she comes back and she says, "One of the desserts features black licorice, but it's done in a special preparation, and the chef would really like you to try it."
Oh, man.
That's so funny.
I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I tried it, and it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite dessert? No. But I'll bet there's a pea preparation for you.
Yeah.
So your show idea is worthy.
Yeah.
One day.
I think
I'm not
you
being
had.
rude. I'm looking up something to ask you.
I think you had the canned pea experience, and you need the fresh pea.
It's a weird,
it's really like night and day, isn't it?
Yeah. I had to give up when not to go back to the gluten-free thing, but I had to give up a lot of my other hang-ups because I was like, I've got to eat when I go places, so,
Also, can I say this to you?
Please.
How old are you?
40.
Okay, so tastes actually change.
Yeah.
Your taste buds literally change, but your connection to that childhood dislike could have changed by now.
Yeah. My mom eats all kinds of stuff that we didn't keep in the house. That she always is like, I never ate this, and now I love peanuts.
Yes, I didn't like beets when I was a kid. Now I eat them.
Beets, that's like a textural thing that I'm hung up on.
Oh, you don't want that either.
My grandmom had a jar of beets in the back of the fridge always.
But what about the fresh roasted beet in like a beautiful salad?
Yeah. I need to. You have a bit about beets.
What is it?
About the stain.
No, that's not me. That's somebody else. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything? I wanted to ask.
We get into his day. We get into.
So
his day.
This is
I'll squeeze him in at the end.
The part of the podcast where we talk about a typical day in the guest's life. I think I thought it'd be interesting to talk about what a day is like when you're filming an episode of. So if you want to pick up a specific day from a city, or just give us a typical.
I don't really remember the specific days.
Right,
they all kind of blend into one. But I'll tell you what I do. Someone's having the flu outside this door. Do you hear that?
Oh, he's fine. That's Alex. Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I just hear
hit the cough button.
Like the zoo has a cold. It sounds like. I try to work out every morning. So if my call isn't very early, let's say in Lisbon, I am going to work out, and I'll get up extra early if they need me at the location at 9 a.m., I'll get up really early and do the 45 to an hour workout.
What kind of, like a hotel gym or like
hotel gym is ideal, but there are some hotels that we stay at that don't have a gym.
Right.
So it's either the run around the city thing, which is kind of fun, really, without the part where I'm sweating and polishing and dying. Yeah. That's not the fun part, but the getting up early in any city, like a city like Venice, before it becomes overrun,
right,
and it's all yours early in the morning, you're actually very, very grateful for that experience. So I love that.
Do you eat or drink anything before the workout, or
a little coffee if I can?
Yeah.
And if not, I just go.
Yeah.
So I break up my day with. And this also answers the most asked question that I get is, why aren't you 300 pounds? So this is part of the reason. Because I'm like, I replaced the bad habit of sitting on the couch and eating potato chips with the good habit. It had to be another habit of working out every day. Yeah, I don't feel normal if I don't work out now. That's how it's gotten for the last 20, 25 years.
Right.
I have to do it. In fact, I fly from L.A. to New York, and if I land at 4, the very first thing I do, since my flight was at 7, a.m., I didn't have time to work out, I must hit the gym immediately.
Wow.
As soon as I land. And sometimes that's even traveling overseas. I
Yeah.
must hit the gym immediately.
Amazing.
What do you listen to?
Either your podcast
Yes, thank you.
or another
Good
podcast
save, good
or just music or
Yeah.
sometimes, if I'm on the elliptical trainer inside, let's say it's raining out, I'm doing my cardio on the elliptical, I'll plug into the TV. And CNN is on all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah,
it's good.
And that makes you angry. That's good to.
Well, I
get the
just,
juices
I'm a
flowing,
big
yeah.
fan of fake news, and
Yes,
so I
there you
watch.
go.
Yeah.
The best kind of news.
Yeah.
And then
I go. Sometimes what's called for me is to literally just walk around. They need those shots.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say half my time is spent walking through the city, but we do try to hit all the different parts of the town so that we have this B-roll to insert into the episode. So it's kind of a necessary thing I have to do for the movie.
Yeah.
And then we've structured the show so that I'm not killing myself with food. So there'll be 1 or 2 meals a day that
Right.
we're filming
For the show, yes.
for the show. And then I'm not eating otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I know I'm not eating until 2 p.m. that day, I'll have the hotel breakfast very light. Yogurt, fruit cereal.
The continental breakfast.
Or by the way, continental is just juice, coffee, pastry, or roll.
Yeah.
I am a little beyond that in
Sure.
my yogurt,
right.
fruit, and
There you
cereal.
go.
Parfait.
So now we're going up to $50 for the breakfast. Yeah.
Intercontinental, yeah.
For once you skip the continental.
Because the 1 or 2 meals a day makes sense when you see the meals you're eating on the show, which are
Yes.
like the person is feeding you the entire menu.
Yes, and I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm just tasting it.
Yeah.
You see me have 1 or 2 bites, 3 at the most, and then I have a crew of 16 guys looking at me with their tongues hanging out
Yeah.
like zombies. How could I not give them some?
Yeah.
In fact, I want to give
Yeah.
them some. It's only fun if you can share it with people,
Yeah.
and I love sharing it with them.
Yeah.
They are into it.
Yeah, of course.
You'd
What a
be
gig.
into it.
That'd be amazing.
It's amazing. It's a perk. And, it keeps me available to taste everything, which
Yes.
is really what I want to do.
Right. Is there ever a time where you eat the whole thing?
Yes.
It's so good that you. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I say, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Well, usually it's only going to be like 1 or 2 bites then.
Right. Yeah.
But there have been times like where this burger in Copenhagen, for example, is so fantastic. I'm eating at least half of this burger.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing.
Dessert, I guess you don't have to worry about it because it's the last thing, and if you get, if you're full,
But I do like dessert.
Yeah.
I love dessert.
And if the place is great and famous for the dessert.
What
how
was
do you-
on the burger? I'm a burger fiend.
So this guy,
person.
did you see that episode yet?
I didn't
Copenhagen?
No. Now I'm going to watch it.
Okay, so here's a guy who did, I think, an exchange program and went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's like burger heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There used to be a chain in New York called Jackson Hole.
That's right. So he gets into the burgers. Now he moves back to Copenhagen. He wants to make a burger. So now you have an outsider,
Yeah.
an insider who became an outsider, learned something, came back to Copenhagen. Now
To bring
he's gonna
it to
make,
Copenhagen.
and it's called Gasoline Grill. It's the convenience store part of the gas station.
Yeah.
Okay, but you go in there and there's a line out the door because
Word has spread.
the friggin' burgers are world
That's so
class.
cool.
He makes one called, I want to say Butterburger.
Yeah.
Instead of a pat of cheese on this burger, it's a slab of butter
Yeah.
that starts melting into like a steak.
Yeah, I was just going to say like a steak.
It's one of the better things I've ever eaten. That
What's the bun?
beautiful soft bun,
So
like
cool.
he.
I'm in a monthly burger club. Last night we went to Corner Bistro, which I know sounds cliche, but
But it's great,
They
right?
changed their
Ah,
bun,
really?
because Corner Bistro's been around for 40 years with this
Yeah.
like paper thin white bun, and now with all of these fancy burger restaurants, they can't keep up. They changed to a Martin's potato bun.
Which is the bun of buns.
The bun of buns changed the burger.
And
It's so amazing.
I gotta
now.
go. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
it's
How
great.
much longer are you in New York?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. well,
It's
But I'll
the-
be back.
It's the great Corner Bistro old school burger with the curly bacon and everything, and the raw onion on the bottom. But it's a Martin's potato bun. It's a dream.
And then the meat, I'm sure, is
It's the
awesome.
same that you've always had
Yes.
at 2 a.m.
It's
for
great.
Your whole
and do you
entire-
like the JG melon?
Love JG Mellon. It's been in my top 5 for a very long time.
What's your top? This one
in
The-
New York?
Yeah.
I love JG Mellon. I know Shake Shack, but it's in there. I love Burger Joint in the Parker Meridian.
Great.
Spotted Pig is my number one on a tier of its own. It's the best single bite of burger I think you could ever have.
But I can't
you
sit
have
there.
to like.
I'm too old to sit there.
Yeah.
Those chairs are too low. They have no backs.
And you have
It's
to like blue
uncomfortable.
cheese for that.
That's
burger.
right. Just like Father's office in L.A.
Yeah.
They don't take it
This
off.
could derail the whole podcast. I
Yeah.
could keep
Why?
going. I thought Father's office was more of a sandwich.
Are
than
you
a
an
burger.
investor in Father's
Interesting.
office?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Well, they wouldn't make. Oh, I mean,
I did
like-
invest in Umami Burger.
Oh.
I went with his wife to Umami
That was
Burger.
it was fantastic
The first
for a
time.
while, and
It was here. It didn't work.
believe-
Father's office.
It didn't last.
Well, there was a quality control issue,
Oh.
and I actually sold my investment.
Cassell.
That's the only time I've done it.
Castles or Cassell's is my
Cassell's.
favorite LA burger, and it's now in Koreatown. But it's old school. The patty melt.
The
is
patty melt is
incredible.
unsurpassed.
Loved it.
David Chang writes about that patty
Yeah.
melt. Yeah.
Pet peeve, just Father's office. They wouldn't bring me a glass of water. I had to go back up and wait in line for a glass of water. And it was a whole thing. Where I was like, we talk about restaurant pet peeves a lot.
That's a great. I was
Just
going.
like,
That's
yeah,
another
yeah.
one I was going to ask. Anytime we have a food person on the podcast,
Yeah.
which is becoming
Pet
more and more
peeve.
regular, what's
Yeah.
your restaurant pet peeve?
Too loud.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's that
Not
simple.
staff related.
No.
It's just if it's too loud.
Yeah, but I also learned
Very
being in the
Jewish of
business
you.
why that. Well, look, if we go out to eat,
No, I know.
I
You
wanna
want
talk to
conversation.
you.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear their music. I don't. And by
Oh
the
yeah,
way,
the music for sure.
it's too friggin' loud. Stop it. You know why they do it?
Why?
Do you want to guess why?
To get tables turned
Yes,
quickly.
that's a very astute.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly why. It took me a
Interesting.
while to figure that out. I thought they want to be young and hip. They don't want geezers like me in there. They want to have it, have it
to
feel like
turn
a
over the
place.
tables.
No, don't hang out and talk.
Interesting.
Eat and get out.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I have like a nerdy TV which is like how much when you're having a meal, how much like producing of the show are you doing, and how much like eating of the meal? Like, are you involved in like, oh, we got to get this shot, this has to happen?
Sometimes
or-
I'll be eating something and I'll discover something in the thing, and I'll go, "Oh my God, did you see this? Did you get this?" And I'll stop and I'll say, "You got to get this."
Yeah.
Right? And I'll hold it up to the camera, and the camera guy will just walk over and zoom in, and we continue.
Well, that's the
We're
best-
not like doing like sometimes they'll arrive early at the restaurant to get the prep of the thing
Yeah.
that they can cut in later. I don't want to be part of it. I don't care,
Oh, yeah.
honestly,
Yeah, yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
If I care, I'll stop and ask. Wait a minute. I'll say to the chef, "Go, let me see the chef. How did you do this? Why is this so friggin' good?" It's really a dope question. It's not like an insider chef point of view.
Right.
It's just a guy who is falling in love and wants to know, how'd you get so beautiful?
Well, that's the fun part of doing a show that goes to post, because you can stop down and be
Yes.
like, you know what, let's take 2 seconds and
Yes.
look at this.
Exactly.
Cherry tomato.
It's made in the editing, really.
Yeah.
And so you have these like several hour meal sort of
Not really.
extravagances. No, it's
By the
like-
way, I have a rule.
yeah.
Because I did kind of different small iterations of this show before you saw it,
Yeah.
right? And like I had one producer on the first thing I did for American Express. I thought this was going to be the show, but it turned out they just wanted a card member experience. They didn't tell me that.
Right.
But I did go to London for a week with Thomas Keller.
Oh, wow.
And film for a week in London. But the producer who did this for Amex, they booked us into 27 restaurants in 7 days. Oof. It was brutal. That is the noise I made every meal. Yeah. You want to say, "Oh boy,"
Yeah.
when the food comes, not "Oh no."
Yeah.
And it became "Oh no."
Yeah.
Oh my God. And because I was with Mr. Keller, these were mostly white tablecloth, fancy 3, 4, 5 hour meals. I was dying.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
So Death by What You Love, I knew that if this show was to continue or go on or have another show, it's not going to be this.
Yeah.
We're going to eat once or twice.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be three hours. In fact, the rule is, and when we started this show, the chefs do want to bring you everything. They want to highlight their restaurant. I understand.
Yeah.
But we say hour and a half tops.
right.
Yeah.
In and
Whatever
out.
you
Wow.
can do in an hour and a half, and don't wait between things. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm with someone probably that I never met before. It can be awkward.
Sure.
You don't click with everybody. And
Look at this podcast.
and so the and the food coming
Yeah.
quicker than normal keeps the evening going
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
So then you're back in the van to the second location, or is
No, I
there-
get a break
you
usually.
get a break in between the 2 meals.
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, we leave room in the schedule for serendipity.
Sure.
Something could happen.
That's great.
Street,
What a
a
luxury.
street food or a
We have
thing.
10 days
Yeah.
in each
Hey,
location.
pull over. Look
Yeah.
at that slice of pizza.
Exactly right. Exactly. That's how it is.
So fun.
Hey, pull over. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And then you just go back to your hotel and kind of, you're not ordering room service cheeseburgers.
I promise.
Yeah.
I don't think not one time have I ordered room service in all these travels.
Yeah.
There's no need. I'm
Are you
eating
wrapping
very well.
anything to go? This is like a question from my mom. Are you like, this is
You gotta-
so
can I
good.
get that in a doggy
Wrap
bag?
it up, take
Yeah.
it.
Never.
me
But
get that
I
to
for
go.
the crew, I will ask. By the way, sometimes the crew has to eat lunch, right? They get a lunch.
Union hours, all that
They
stuff.
have to have a lunch break. Sometimes the very restaurant that I just shot in will provide the lunch for the crew
great.
as they're thankful that we came.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll sit with them and eat more of what I didn't eat on camera. That I will do.
That's fun.
Just
Yeah.
because I love hanging with them.
You get sign off on all the restaurants? Do you have a
I
team
really do.
that's researching?
Well, I have the best team in the world. I have ZPZ Productions, which was Bourdain's production company.
Oh, wow.
So when I first started doing I'll Have What Phil's Having for PBS, they asked me what production company I wanted to use. I said, what about Bourdain's? Thinking he must have the best.
Yeah.
And they said yes.
Yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Great.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell, obviously, he was a big influence on the show. I mean, I know I've heard you say
My
that-
show is merely a take
Yeah.
on the type of show that he reinvented, right?
Yeah.
He reinvented an entire genre of shows.
Yeah.
And you've heard this before, but the way I actually sold the show was I had to think of a one pitch line. And
Jewy Anthony Bourdain.
a little bit. By the way, half Jewish. In fact, mother Jewish.
I
All
think
Jewish. True.
Yeah.
True. Father French, mother Jewish, Bourdain.
But he was so cool.
The French part. I said I'm exactly like Anthony Bourdain if he was afraid of everything.
Yeah. That's
great.
great.
You kind of get it
Yeah.
from that.
That's a great, pitch.
So that was that. Devastating tragedy that he's gone, and I dedicate my series to him. I wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah.
Anyone who travels or eats owes this
Sure.
man a debt.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, just, the idea of going somewhere and not just hitting the touristy spots, but really learning about the culture and really learning about the people. I mean, that's really what he...
The food is
Yeah.
the food is just the way to get you in.
Yeah.
For me, and I think food is this great connector, and laughs are the cement for me.
Yeah.
And it's a show about human connection disguised as a food and travel show.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably ping-ponging all over the place, but
Yeah.
you're very famous for your, in LA, your dinners and your get-togethers, right? To what?
Movie night.
Movie night.
Yeah, you want to come?
Yeah.
I
would
invite
love
you
love
both
to.
right now.
Thank you very much.
When are you in LA next?
The next time...
I'm hoping to be soon.
Yeah.
All right, you'll give you my email and you can
For
tell
sure.
me when you come.
That's
How?
great.
What's how did I mean? Not how did they start, but like, give me the
It
highlights.
started when I was 15 years old, and when I was 15, this new thing came out called HBO.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now you're youngsters, but this was the first time you could watch an uncut, uninterrupted, uncensored movie in your house. No VCRs,
No
right?
commercials.
No commercials, and R-rated pictures. So at 15, every Saturday night,
Some boobage.
my other, junior high school buddies come over because they're showing this thing, and
Right.
it's rated R. We might see something.
Yeah.
Okay? So they come, and we order pizza. This has now evolved to... I have a dedicated screening room that is a registered digital cinema in the United States.
Dolby Digital surround sound.
It is, yes. It is on what they call the Bel Air Circuit, which is something that goes back to the beginning of movies in Hollywood, where if you were in the industry, as a courtesy, you could get prints of the film in your house.
Oh, wow.
The day they open.
Oh, you're getting first run movies.
I am getting first run
Wow.
movies.
Wow.
And I built a wood-burning pizza oven in my kitchen. So this is where it has evolved to. From being 15, hoping to see some action on HBO on a 19-inch color Trinitron in my parents' den, to this experience.
And you do this weekly?
Every Sunday I am
Sunday
home.
night.
Yeah.
So cool.
Amazing.
It is my way of creating a community around myself.
Yeah.
It's a way of having a family and a tradition and meeting the coolest people in the world. I mean, we've had the filmmakers come.
Right.
We showed The Exorcist with William Friedkin.
Oh, wow.
There to talk about it after. We've shown, Social Network with Aaron Sorkin. We've shown, My goodness. Amazing. We've had amazing nights.
Yeah.
Peter O'Toole came to a movie night.
Wow.
Legendary.
Matt does the same thing on Sunday nights, but he invites friends over to watch 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Cool.
We had the clock. No,
Very good.
Morally safer.
We know you have to go soon. Is there? We have a thing called the blow off that we like to close with,
Yes.
where we
Yes.
we ask people how they blow people off, or if
Yes.
you have a go-to way of getting out of things.
I do. I say I'm not crazy about you.
Brutally
Honesty.
honest.
No,
There
I
we
don't.
go.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always an excuse. Isn't it easy?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Is
I have
this
a 3-year-old.
tough? Do people have a hard-
So no, some people say they're,
That's good.
Some
I have a
people
3-year-old.
say they're
I'm gonna
very-
try that.
Some people
Yeah.
say they're very honest. Some people
Yeah.
have gotten better at or trying to not to say no to things. Some people say they say yes to everything. Some people have no shame about lying or making things up. Or
I think the polite lie is
Yeah.
okay. You shouldn't lie just as a matter of course, President.
yeah,
But the polite lie to spare someone's feelings. What's wrong with that?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the world turns on such things.
Some people will have no problem karmically with saying my
right.
mother's sick. Yeah.
We have like 2 minutes. I have to
Do it.
I have to do this.
Do it.
Friend of the show, our friend Zach Linder, very big fan of yours. He is also a gastrotourist. He travels by himself and he goes and he eats.
That sounds terrible.
He eats every. Yeah, it sounds like
Can
it
we call it
involves
something
your butt.
else? Yeah.
But anyway, he writes, "What's the best food city that deserves all the hype, and what's the best food city that needs more hype?" I promised him I would ask you.
That's a good question. Well, Los Angeles deserves the hype. In fact,
Yeah.
I don't want to start a fight with you people, but L.A. wins right now.
Yeah,
L.A. is the best food city
This
in
is the
America.
narrative
Right.
that's out there now.
Yeah.
Is that New York is overtaking New York?
LA's over.
L.A.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah.
It's because there's actually, believe it or not, even more diversity there.
Yeah.
The largest
Yeah, sure.
populations in the world of people outside their native homelands is in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
And then the second part was
Which one deserves more hype?
yeah.
Philadelphia.
That's where
Is that
we're from.
true?
Let's
Yes,
go. High
that's
five.
where my
We're
wife
both
is
from
from.
Philadelphia.
Yes,
What's
very
your
good.
cheesesteak? Let's go real quick. What's your cheesesteak?
I like D'Alessandro's.
Yes,
Alessandro's
that's
is-
my
that's
place.
my
And I
place.
like, is it?
I
I
used
just
to
took-
go there growing up.
I just
You
took
know
my
where
wife
else-
there.
You know where else the cheesecake is incredible? Johnny's roast pork.
John's roast pork. Yeah.
I love that he said D'Alessandro's.
But
That was my place growing up.
When you say like you have to go to the source, that's why Jim's has always been my favorite because that griddle
Yeah.
is the same griddle with
Yeah.
the same. They don't clean. They don't clean it too much. It's the same pile of meat that just dwindles and builds back up and dwindles and builds back up.
It's
and
like the
grease
mole
and-
at Pujol in Mexico City.
Exactly.
They just
That's
keep
what I say
adding to
all
it.
the time.
Yes, they
I
just
walk
keep
in there.
adding to it. So it's
But
years
Jim-
and years
but
and
it's
years
so
of
funny,
seasoning.
D'Alessandro's.
Yeah.
Man,
Jim's
I
is
would love
excellent.
to
Jim's
walk
is-
around
Yeah.
Reading Terminal Market with Phil
I love it.
Rosenthal.
Yeah.
Would
I
just
do
be
love
a
it.
dream.
I love those pretzels from the
Amazing.
You haven't gone.
ladies.
You haven't gone.
God
to,
bless
you
the
haven't gone to
Amish.
Philly yet, or did you go to Philly?
Not
yet?
in the show.
Yeah.
Can I PA on the episode? I haven't been a PA in years, but I would PA
No,
on the,
you'll come and
on
be
the episode.
We
where,
call them sidekicks when we have
my
a guy
goodness.
or gal come with me to a location.
the
and
Philly
do the
food
scene
scene
with
is
me.
going crazy
Yeah.
right now.
How about Michael Solomonoff and
I was
what
just
he's
going to
done?
say, yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
insane.
It's great.
We have to get you out of here. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming. Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix, and people can find you on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, right?
I'm there. If
Yeah.
you're not following me on Instagram, at least, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's where the food pics
That's
are.
where the
So
food
there you go.
pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, PhilRosenthalWorld.com.
Yes.
Just
I just
launched,
read.
and it's everywhere we go in the show. So
It's the compendium.
I feel like I have a purpose now, like a use.
Yeah.
Even if you hate me,
It's the
there's
compendium.
great info there. Everywhere
Anytime
we
you
go.
travel anywhere,
yes, at
consult.
least check that.
Yeah.
What's it called?
PhilRosenthalWorld.com.
PhilRosenthalWorld.com, and you'll find the places to go
place-
in all the
every
different
place we go.
cities. Wonderful. Thank
This
you
was
so much, Phil
incredible.
Rosenthal.
Thank you so much. And
What a dream. Stay busy, everybody.
Voicemail because I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm gonna hit you later because I'm busy. Busy with her.